What's up guys, this is Hayden G230 and apologies in advance for the length of this video. I am going to provide timestamps in the description. Now what we're going to be looking at today is footage I took of the Disintegration exhibit at PAX West 2019. First we got a briefing explaining what the game was. If you're familiar with it, then you could skip over to the timestamp that shows gameplay, which will be later in this video. Enjoy.
Thank you so much for waiting. I'm super excited to finally get to talk to you about Disintegration. My name is Joe Arroyo. I'm an engineer on the project. I've been working on this title for almost 6 years from its inception as just a little prototype in Unity that we then took and ended up getting a publisher and building a team from scratch. So what you're going to see is about the 2.5-year development cycle of the game as we build the team. Speaking of the team, this is Beyond Interactive. We're a pretty small team. We're a mix of both industry veterans that have been doing this for a really long time and new and emerging talent, many of which this is actually going to be their very first ship title. And these are our interns. We treat them very well. It was really important for Marcus to try and make that group, that hefty mix between the industry vets and the new people, because a lot of us bring that new sort of fresh perspective on things to try and do something new and interesting, but we mix that with people who have shipped a lot of titles and know how to make quality things. Even though we're only about 30 people, the pedigree is still rooted in a lot of things you probably know, like Halo and SOCOM, and that should give you an idea of where we're going with where this game is headed. In Disintegration, you're going to control a set of AI outlaws on the ground, commanding them, while at the same time piloting a heavily armed airborne drag cycle. Wow. So you're actually mixing this FPS mechanic with a real-time tactics mechanic on one. This meant we had plenty of design challenges as a team. There wasn't exactly a game or a set of games that we could look to for answers on how to combine these genres, because we're doing something new that hasn't really been done before. And oftentimes one mechanic that's solved by some other game that's out there kind of conflicts with the other one, so we really had to just go back, and this is one of the most fun things for us to do as a team, is to try and bring something new and interesting to the floor. So one of the ways that we're doing this is by making, no matter what you're doing, commanding or shooting otherwise, feel like shooting. So you're going to pull your right trigger, and obviously that's going to do what you expect. It's going to fire your weapon. But if you press right bumper or the other mouse button, then you'll actually be firing out what's called a command pulse. So you can look to a location on the map and fire a command pulse there. Think of it kind of like a ping system. Your units are going to take up position in that area and try and fight intelligently from that spot. Or if you're trying to whittle down a particularly strong enemy, you may want to just fire a command pulse on that enemy directly. It tells your units to stop what they're doing and focus fire that target down while you're also shooting them at the same time. So try to think of this a lot like your weapons and the pilot and all of that. That's your FPS experience, that's your right hook in combat. The units on the ground, they're your left hook. You need them both. If you try and go out there and play this game like a traditional FPS and you play against someone who does not do that, you will not win that fight, I guarantee it. Because you are playing one hand tied behind your back, and they're not. So don't forget about your units. It's really important to use them to the best of your abilities in order for them to be effective in combat. Now, if you got your right hook and your left hook with your units, then you can think of the unit abilities in the game like your uppercut. Each unit that you have on the ground is actually equipped with a unique ability that you deploy in combat. So this should also feel really similar to an FPS experience, like having a backpack full of abilities and grenades and things like that. But the difference is that you're actually commanding this individual unit to perform that ability. And this means you have to have a little bit of awareness of the battlefield in order to be a good commander and use these, because if there's a wall sitting here blocking that unit from performing it, they might actually have to go around that spot before they can do it. So if you're not particularly paying attention, there may actually be a delay between when you give the order and when it occurs. And that could be the difference between being successful in landing that shot or having someone already escape before you have a chance to do it. So the good commanders are going to try and keep their units sort of in front of them, if you will, so they understand where they are in the space of the battlefield and when to do these abilities in order to be successful. So Disintegration, it does have a full single-player campaign that we're working on. We've been working on it since the very beginning, and Marcus has a very rich story that he's been developing for this title for over 6 years. So it's really important to us that both of those are coming out at the same time, but in the interest of time and the line, we're going to throw you into the fire to play multiplayer, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So in Disintegration's multiplayer, there's 5v5, very frenetic, objective-based combat. you're going to see 10 graph cycles with their crew and the units that are associated with them on the ground as well. That's going to equate to about 40-ish units and 10 graph cycles in the sky. So it's going to get a lot can go on at any given moment depending on when you play the game, you're going to pick your favorite crew. So everything is based on a crew-based model where each crew has a really unique sort of style that you may want to pick. But it doesn't stop with their personality whatsoever. Every single crew has a completely unique set of abilities, a unique set of weapons, and a unique composition of units. So you're going to pick the one that fits your playstyle the best. And some of them may not be suited for your playstyle. It really depends on how you like to do this. If you want that more traditional sort of DPS damaging experience, then Lost Ronin is probably like the easiest one to get the hang of first. You know what to do with their weapons. They have cannons, they damage people. Their secondary weapon are rockets, damage people. Your unit abilities are concussion grenades and a mortar strike. Guess what they do? They damage people. So that's all you got to think about with this crew. If you want a little more of like a support feel, you can pick Tech Noir. They are a backline sniper. Their whole goal is to sit in the backline, keep a view of a couple of your friendlies as well, use your snipes to poke at the enemy, and switch to your secondary whenever some of your friendlies need some topping off, which is also a weapon, but it shoots at your friendlies to heal them and homes towards them as they heal. So the whole goal with them is like, pop, 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 oh, someone's low on health, switch, top you off, switch back, pop, pop, pop. If you take Tech Noir and you try and rush into the middle of combat, you're toast. They have a lot less health, which is a good time to mention that all of the graph cycles handle differently. Some of them are much heavier and bulkier and slower. Some of them are really nimble and fast, and they all have different amounts of health depending on how you want to play. To that note, you may pick like a tanky class like Warheads, for example. They're slow, they got a ton of health, and they do a lot of damage. Their main weapon shoots out these tri-nades that are really good for clearing out the floor on ground units, and their secondary is a nuke that you charge up, and when it fires out, it's really slow, but it sticks to whatever it hits. So if you land one on an enemy graph cycle, it's an instant kill. And that's the difference in an objective-based game mode. If the Warheads can pull that off once, that's usually your time to grab the team and go push and make push and make. There's many more here. There's going to be coaches on the floor to help you pick the one you want. They'll probably tap you on the shoulder, give you some advice on how to be effective with the crews. And to that note, it is important that every single crew in this game has a really specific way of playing them in order to be particularly effective with that crew. So it's possible to pick one and not quite understand what you need to do with them, so please ask for help if you need it. We're going to show you one of the 3 game modes that we'll be shipping with. This one is called Retrieval. The way Retrieval works is the attacking team fights to pick up energy cores from 2 places on the map and carry them directly into the defending team's territory in order to reach those launch pads in order to score. The thing that makes this really unique, though, is that it's the units that do the core carrying. It's not you. You don't go to it, pick it up, and go boost over there and like drop it off. You actually will command pulse on the core stations. Your units will then walk up. One's going to pull it out, pop it on their back. At that moment, then you're in a mode where you're moving forward with your team, trying to get that core carrier up to that spot. The rest of your team should be doing everything in its power to get over there and support that core carrier. If you're a support class like Tech Noir, that healing that I talked about, you can heal units as well. So heal the core carrier is a really great way to keep them alive as you push up towards that platform. There's also a tether mechanic in the game, just FYI. If you're getting too uncomfortable with the pulses and you get too far away from them, they'll always sort of break from that and get back to a follow mode where they'll always basically be with you. We want you to feel like one unit. You are one crew moving across the battlefield together, and they will intelligently fight whatever they see. It's up to you to decide when you want to tell them, no, I really want you to go here, or I really want you to shoot that enemy. And you can decide to do that if you want. What we're going to show you real quick is basically a story of 3 players who are trying to get the last point in a retrieval match, so you get a feel for what it looks like for 3 different graph cycles with completely different loadouts working together and playing to their strengths in order to be successful in this game.
Alright, and then last push, I'm switching to Tech Noir so I can do some healing for the back. Cool?
Yeah, we'll hold the line while we wait for you to get down. I'll keep them busy.
Almost there. I've got your heels.
Thank you, thank you.
Neon, flanking from the alley.
I need to go.
Snowfield inbound. Alright, light him up.
I'm on it. Nice work. I'm gonna push on. Throw on some heels.
You know it. Is your nuke ready?
Maybe. Perfect. Bye-bye.
All right, this is our shot. I'm making a run for the core.
All right, do it.
Got it. Oh, hey, backups arrived. Let's push.
All right, I'm gonna get out in front. Let's pave the road for the core carrier, shall we? All right, kids, let's put it back now.
I'm on heels and our carrier's about to go down. 4 feet off.
I'll get this now. I'm gonna spot this. Red.
Go in. I think we can still pull this off.
All right, one more nuke for good measure. Worth it.
Right here. One more push.
Let's over back at this square.
Got this. You got this. Come on.
Good job.
Yes. All right, now we just gotta worry about the fence.
So one of the things that should be noted there is that core got dropped twice. They exchanged hands 3 times within that. That's really common in this game. You've got to work together. Core carrier is going to go down, give a command pulse on the core. One of your other units on the other team is going to pick it up. And the big thing is just don't forget about that command pulse in the heat of combat. When you're fighting another graph cycle, one of the easiest things you can do is just pop that pulse to tell them to direct target. That going on in a fight and having your units also focus fire on that graph cycle at the same time is usually going to be the difference between you winning and losing the fight if your units are still up. So the game is, we're still in alpha. We got plenty of work left to do, but we're really happy to finally show it off and give you a feel of what it's going to look like. But it's only going to get better from here and improve, and we're just super excited to get you on the floor to play it. So what do you think? You want to play it?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Alright. Let's get this spread, gentlemen. This is just a warm up. Let's see controllers. Hover up, hover down. So that's what that does.
Which of you, or any of you guys, going for it?
I am Ronin right now.
I am a nice guy. Make sure you do it exactly.
Well, just ran into a wall. Also keep in mind the mic's on here. Like, yeah, so hold it like this, I guess, if need be. But I mean, reload. I think we're full on. This is a lot easier on. Oh, sounds beautiful. Sound design. So,
And I think I'm not getting game audio. I guess what happened to me last
I'm getting it faintly. I'm good here. See.
No game audio. Wait, what class did you choose?
Shout out to them surviving an airstrike.
Hey, and what class did you choose?
I'm Ronin.
Ronin, okay.
Get wrecked. Oh, you want to run now?
I'm a support player myself.
How they track, they own.
What's this scan thing do?
That's primarily used
Flat flash. Alright, let's get this bread, gentlemen.
Defend the bread. It's acquired. Good job. Alright. Testing, reload. I can hear you, yeah. No game audio here, We're heading to B, or actually we should really just book it, but like one of us stay back at like whatever one they're going for. Alright. Two of you are at Alpha. I'm at Bravo, so... Bravo, okay, keep eyes up. I'm going down the middle. Whoops. I'm in the middle, so I can block. I'm scouting ahead a little bit. Nobody's out. Yeah, those are out. Yeah, I see stuff going on at A. Moving intercept. Oh. Yeah. I know. Okay. I know. Nice. So, I mean, I said we're doing good though. Wait, hey, they got it back. Target down.
Ooh, nice.
Let's get this bread.
Pull him.
Pushing it.
He's only like...
There's still two of them in A. Just like seeing.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Everybody getting that one going.
Let's go.
Oh,
Fire, fire. Trying to shoot me. No idea why that did that. Oh, we are pushing them. Uh-oh. Shit, they detonated on me. I think I'm okay now. Those are our allies.
Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. I gotta go. Uni, where are you? Almost? Yes. Come in. Almost there.
Oh, I find my... Okay.
You want a tussle?
It's okay. You're not better than you should want. I think... Oh, no.
Okay.
Ah, shit. I get the book area.
Shit, one of our guys is down. Whoops, did not mean to do that.
I got okay, he's down.
Oh no, he dropped it.
No, because he
Oh my god, he's dead.
Damn.
Should we try something new?
Have you played Warheads yet?
I have not actually, but that's taken.
No, you can do multiple ones.
Oh wait, yeah, the bottom, you're right.
Big boy.
Large and in shards. Let's get this bread. Whoops. This guy's heavy. That's fine. Really good. Down to 45. I mean, you checked the knob, right? Gotcha. All my little ones are down. Yeah, that's normal. That's normal. Yes. Alright, I'm up. Whoa, that's cool. Yeah, I know. Just
Yeah, be careful, that's your nuke.
Do we have any eyes on them? I'm there. There's a swarm of them.
Now would be the time to use your nuke.
Beta is secure. One guy's here. Oh, nice.
Ah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is Disintegration. I really liked it. This is honestly the best game at PAX this year. I'm sure you can ask anyone else that was with us that, and they'll probably say the same thing. Hidden Xperia, Halo Canon, the Sins of the Prophets guys, Sith Venator, the Ultimate Halo guys. Like, this was honestly the best game at PAX this year. Also, this game plays honestly better on a controller. I did play it on mouse and keyboard, but the majority of the time, of the 6 times we played it, I played it on a controller and enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. The next video being, hopefully, a PAX recap of sorts video, sort of like last year, where just kind of like, what did I do at PAX, things of that nature. So stay tuned for that.